Let's take a moment to look at the reasoning the court used. Federal aiding and abetting law reflects the view that a person may be responsible for a crime he has not personally carried out if he deliberately helps another complete its commission. To aid and abet a crime, a person must take an affirmative action in furtherance of the offense and intend to facilitate its commission. As pointed out during oral arguments, gun manufacturers sell their products to federally licensed gun distributors, who then sell them to federally licensed gun dealers, who then sell them to retail customers. Yes, some small percentage of the retail customers are committing a crime for purchasing those guns for another person, a straw purchase. And yes, some of those straw purchases are smuggled across the border for drug cartels who may use them to commit murder and mayhem. But that is several steps away from the manufacturers. Against the backdrop of that law, Mexico's complaint does not plausibly allege that the defendant manufacturers aided and abetted gun dealers' unlawful sales of firearms to Mexican traffickers. Mexico's lead claim that the manufacturers elect to sell guns to, among others, known road dealers fails to clear that bar. However, that wasn't Mexico's only allegation. For related reasons, Mexico's second set of allegations that manufacturers have declined to suitably regulate the dealers' practices cannot fill the gap. Of course, responsible manufacturers might well impose constraints on their distribution chains to reduce the possibility of unlawful conduct, but a failure to do so is what Twitter called passive nonfeasance. Such omissions and inactions, especially in already highly regulated industry, are rarely the stuff of aiding and abetting liability, and nothing in Mexico's allegation makes them so. In other words, there's no legal requirement to further regulate the already highly regulated firearms industry, even if Mexico thinks there is. The last allegation from Mexico is one I've heard many times from various cities, states, and anti-gun groups. Finally, Mexico's allegation about design and marketing decisions add nothing to the consequences. Mexico focuses on production of military-style assault weapons, but these products are widely legal and purchased by ordinary consumers. Manufacturers cannot be charged with assisting criminal acts simply because Mexican cartel members also prefer these guns. The same applies to the firearms with Spanish language names or graphics alluding to Mexican history. While they may be coveted by the cartels, they also may appeal to millions of law-abiding Hispanic Americans. Even the failure to make guns with non-defaceable serial numbers cannot show that the manufacturers have joined both mind and hand with lawbreakers in the manner required for aiding and abetting. It's not a crime to make weapons simply because they look like, yet do not operate like, military-style assault weapons. Neither is it a crime to use Spanish names or imagery on weapons. Imagine telling Taco Bell that they could not use a sombrero on their logo, or name their production tacos and burritos because, well, Mexican drug cartels are drawn to them. And the idea of a non-defaceable serial number is ludicrous, since all it takes to remove such a number is something harder than the material it's etched in. I guess government ignorance of reality is not limited to the United States.